Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Coach Jay with the FGC Simplified Community, back with another episode of the Award Street. On the Award Street, we talk to community members who have gone through our system called the Flow and actually implemented it and be able to win federal government contract. So what they do, they come back to share their story, to share their journey, so you can know that it's possible for you who are listening to me right now can take action and be able to get into this federal government contracting space and be able to land a federal government contract. So we are going to share their experience so you can glean and take away from it, so you can implement it in your walk, so you can be able to win federal government contracts too. All right, let's go. Hey everybody, so I'm excited today to have this conversation and to share this experience with y'all too as well. So y'all could see the big grin on my face. My cheekbones hurting already. We haven't even started talking yet and my cheekbones are hurting yet. So let me do this. Let me bring her to the stage so she can do the introduction and all of that. Hi, Miss Donisha, how are you?
Hi. Oh my goodness. You say your cheeks hurt. My cheeks hurt.
Listen, they will understand in a minute why we're so giddy and why I'm so thrilled to have this conversation with you. So, as everybody know, that this is part of our award street. So what we do on our award street, we have community members, people that have gone through our system called the Flow, come back and actually talk to the general public to let them know what their experience is like actually going through the process. So people can glean from their experience, their ups and downs, and they can make adjustment as they go. So to be able to see if this is something that they really want to do. So I'm so excited that you're here. So for those that may not have known you, who know you at all, go ahead and give an introduction so people know who we're talking about.
Okay, so I'm Darnisha. What do you say in an introduction? I am a software tester by trade, or, my 9 to 5 is software testing. I am in a mentorship for mergers and acquisitions, and I am now a government contractor, right? Yeah, I'm a government contractor person. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. And
there you go.
Yes, that's what I am. That's who I am. That's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how long? Because everybody, we'll get into the nitty gritty. How long you've been in this government contracting space?
Oh my gosh, it feels like I just started yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm that new. But all that you have taught me. When was your last mastermind? Because that's how I jumped in, and I think it was August, yeah. So what, August, September, October, a little over 3 months, maybe?
A little over 3 months. End of August, August, how does it go? August, September, October? Yeah.
Is it a little over 3 months or 2 months? One of the two.
2 months, something like that.
Yeah.
But who's counting anyway, right?
Who's counting? It's flying. Flying.
Yeah. So listen, I love to speak to people that have now been exposed to this arena, to let everybody else know that it's possible for them too as well.
Oh yeah.
So how did you get introduced to federal government contracting or government contracting at all?
Yeah, so I actually signed up for your masterclass that you were holding for 3 days. And once that was over, I took action immediately. Every night you gave us homework and I was like, okay, let me act on this. Let me move quickly on this. I didn't let it sit. And so that was my first exposure to it. I've always heard about it. Yeah. I've heard about it, but I've never signed up or, I actually have some contractors calling me now, but I never really got exposed to it at all prior to that. Yeah.
So you heard about it.
Yeah.
How did you hear about it? Like in passing, on ads, or how did you hear about government contracting?
In general conversation, people are always just talking about how you can get a government contract. I never quite understood the stipulations to it, or maybe how you can obtain it, but I knew that it was something that was out there. I thought it was out of reach for me. So I thought it had to be for people who were in the government or working on that. So I never put myself as a person who would ever obtain it or see it or anything like that.
Yeah, so speak on that for a little bit, because I know that a lot of people think, and I could speak about myself, when I first got introduced to the world of federal government contracting, I falsely believed that you had to have a major network, or you had to have somebody on the inside in order to get in. But you said that you believe that it was out of reach for you. What gave you that impression of it being out of reach?
I think the name itself, the federal government, a government contract, it feels like something that is, I don't know, it's like walking into the White House. Like, you can't just walk in there unless somebody invites you in, or unless somebody has someone that they know that could get you in. So that's kind of how I've always viewed it. I've always seen it as far-fetched. Like, I have to be in politics or something to get into the government contracting side. Makes sense.
And that's one, as being a coach, that's one of the hurdles that I have to overcome when somebody who has never been like in the government sector, or have never been around the military or the government, to get to understand that, you can be a federal government contractor and provide the federal government with goods and services without being affiliated with the federal government. You don't have to be in the military. You just have to be in the right position to be able to provide them with what they're looking for.
100%. Yes, I agree. I'm not at a place, Coach Jay, where when I walk out, I'm like, oh, these people probably got hired through the federal government contracting. Oh, this is so cool. It's nice to be on the other side of seeing it. You always question, how do people get these jobs? Where do they find them? And so on and so forth. But to be behind the scenes, it's different back here.
And another thing that blows people's mind too as well, especially when they attend either a workshop or they have some type of consultation with me, they don't believe, or they falsely believe, that it's very complex and convoluted and all that to land and win a federal government contract. Was that your sentiment coming into as well?
I was like, well, I had two takes. One, I trust you as a coach. So for me, that was like, you and I have already parlayed and have talked just outside. So I was like, oh, if Coach Jay is telling me that this is here, this is here. The thing that sort of always is a question or a speed bump is, how much time do I have to put in? Like, how much is this going to cost me? Do I have to be, quit my job so I can give the time to it and make it happen? And so for me, that was my contention, where I was like, can I afford to give time to this? How can this work? How can this fit? But as you continue teaching and then me applying it, I was like, oh, okay, this is not as bad, actually. This is a partnership. Like, okay,
right. So let's jump back and forth, So you obviously you mentioned that you have a 9-to-5 that you do on the front end, right? So let me know what your expectation was, because you said that you thought that you had to have allocate a certain amount of time to it, versus once you learn the flow process, how much time did you actually allocate before you win your first federal government contract?
How much time? Okay, so let me backtrack. I have a 9-to-5. I am in a mentorship. I am in coaching. I am in on a deal team. I am a wife. I am so many things, right? Yes. Wearing so many hats. It was daunting to introduce something else to my life. Like, oh man, something else. And it's also scary trying to merge the two with what you already have going on, because again, you're like, I've never been down these paths. I never treaded these waters before. I don't know what to expect. But now, after applying it, I started looking around. I was getting my feet wet a little. It's a little hard in the beginning to immerse yourself, because it's foreign language in the beginning. Right. But once that flow process kicked in, I was like, okay, I just got to do this, find that. Cool. It was like, okay, I'm getting this. This is becoming better and better. And I'm becoming more used to the language and what's being expected and what's being asked for. So before I landed my contract, that's what you asked, right? How much time did I put in? I probably did this in September. Yeah. And the reason why I did this in September and I heard back at the end of the month or the beginning of October. And the reason why is because they take time to make a decision. And here I am, 2 contracts later, 2 months. In 2 months, 2 contracts. What?
Yeah. So,
hey, what's up, everybody? I know that you're all enjoying this episode, but I just wanted to jump in real quick and let you know that, listen, we're having a one-day special event that's happening on November 30th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be teaching our entire 3-day workshop condensed into a 6-hour training. This, again, this is a request that we've had that a lot of people couldn't make it during the week. So we have done this especially for you, so you can attend on a Saturday to learn our system so you can win a contract too. Let's get back to the episode.
I don't know if you knew or not. I know I mentioned it briefly in the workshop training that it takes the average individual who are, brand new to this space. It takes the average person anywhere between 2 to 3 years to win their first federal government contract.
Did I just break a record, Coach A?
I don't know. I have to go check. No, so I tell people the average of someone that comes into my community or learn our system, they win their first federal government contract in the first 30, 60, or 90 days.
Okay.
Simply because now they have a system that they can follow. And you've experienced the system. The system tells you, do this, do that, wash, rinse, repeat. That's it. That's the entire system. But why it takes the average business or the average person who don't have a system to follow is because they're learning from trial and error and mistakes, and they don't know what to expect. They don't have a roadmap. And that's why I always highly encourage everyone, get a mentorship, get in a program where you can actually see someone. And again, someone who is actually doing what they say that they're teaching to as well. I have no problem showing my receipts and letting people know, based off of my experience, this is what you're going to expect.
Yeah, that is so true. Okay, so I misheard. Yes, those who don't have that framework take 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years.
Crazy. Wow. Yeah,
because they don't submit, because they don't know how to. They don't know what process to follow. So, and then they go down the, analysis paralysis. They learn something on, and then they don't implement it, but then they find something else, and then they, and they're always in the continual state of trying to find something else before they take action.
Yeah, I want to go piggyback on what you said in the end about joining a mentorship and getting into these things. Because if I had not been exposed prior to this, I would have just passed up on this opportunity that you were presenting. Had I not invested in myself before, I would have been like, I can't take someone else trying to get you the fast way to get money, and that's nothing that you preach or teach at all. You don't say, you want to make money really quick? Come in here. You're like, no. You never say that. And so I think that you mentioning that is so true. And I can attest to that for sure, that if I had not gotten into mentorships, into programs, I wouldn't have really buckled down and seen this into fruition. I would have passed it by.
Yeah. And that's what you need, because just like you, and when you first got it started, you are just like everybody else. And I know I've told you that you were right on track. It's like learning, like you said, like learning a new language, a new skill. You're going to have questions. You're going to want to know, am I overthinking this, or is this right? And you need someone there to gently nudge you back on track to say, yeah, just keep doing this. Let's keep doing what you're doing. So,
yeah, because I got off track a couple of times. So I was like, what is happening? And you're like, it's okay.
Yeah. And I tell everybody, it's impossible for me to teach you everything that I have gleaned over the years in just a class or in just one sitting. So that's why you need to have that, mentorship, need to have people around you so you can see that, listen, I understand the flow. That's what's going on.
Yeah. So. Really good stuff.
So I know we have one more workshop that's coming up for this year. So talk about how your experience inside of the workshop was.
Yeah, so I always, and I will forever, ever stand by this, your workshop, FGC Simplified, that name, if you have any doubt, any questions, any concerns, Simplified is the key. If Coach Jay never reveals anything else, simplicity is what you get. I walked out feeling really practically equipped. Nothing too far-fetched, nothing beyond my understanding. It is not rocket science. I am in IT, y'all. So for me, being in IT is completely different. Now it's common sense. For some people, it is rocket science, but this right here is for anybody that can get into it. It was so good, but I'm not here to persuade or pump people up. My experience was that I walked away feeling equipped. And when I walked away feeling equipped, I had the keys to go get what I needed to get. And that's why I hold 2 contracts. And I can't believe I can say this. I hold 2 contracts. Me, little old me. My family doesn't know about government contracting. My friends don't know about government contracting. And here I am holding 2 contracts proudly because I've applied what I learned in this masterclass, in this mastermind. So if you have the ability to join, do it. If you can sign up for the VIP and get access to Coach Jay, he unleashes everything. It's like nothing is hidden with him. No stone is unturned. You get everything you need to get. It is so worth it. I'm grateful. And the last thing I'll say is, it has now, I clock into government contracting like it's my job. Like, they put me to be here. I have my work laptop here and my personal laptop here because I'm like, what else is out here? What else is happening? What's going on? And it's become so great. Yeah, so great.
So do you know why there is no reason to gatekeep and to hold back?
Why?
Because there is so much opportunity out here. There are thousands and thousands of opportunity. And me have been doing this for so long and communicating with contract officer and contract specialists. They have so much opportunities compared to people that are willing and able to fulfill those opportunities. Most of those opportunities they post go unfulfilled. Simply because they don't have enough people. And this is why we do these type of content, so people can know that, 1, federal government contracting exists, and 2, it's simple. It's a simple process in order to get in and land a federal government contract. So one of the questions that I got today, someone asked, can any of my skills from my day-to-day, my 9 to 5, can that be translated and work into federal government contracting? Because most people try to come into this space and bring what their small business does or what they are familiar with and try to do that in federal government contracting. What do you think about that? Any of your 9 to 5 skills or past experience skills, was that easily translated over into federal government contracting?
Oh yeah, and if it wasn't my skills that I've learned from my employment, it is the skills that I learned in everyday life. I mean, if I have a window that broke, right? I have to call someone to get a quote. I don't know the size of the window. I don't know what they would ask. I don't know anything. But the same way that I need to call to get some kind of information to get this window fixed is the same way you're calling these people to get information about a government contract. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the contract you won. So let's talk about your first one. You said you won less than 2 months of understanding the system, coming in, knowing nothing about federal government contract. What was that first contract about?
Yeah, so this first contract was actually for removal of wastewater. It was in an entirely different state. So they're on an entirely different time zone. Not to mention, amidst me submitting for this contract, I got sick. So I was out for, I don't know, almost a week. I had a work training. I was not looking at contracts for about a week. So you think 2 months straight, I was not doing this 2 months straight, day in and day out. I was not sitting here 9 hours a day. But it was a quick turnaround on this one, actually. And I okay, do you want me to say all the details about how I got it? And then, okay.
Yeah, this is for you. Because listen, a lot of people think that they have to go out and hire people to do solicitation writing and all of this stuff. So tell as much details as you feel comfortable with.
Okay, so I saw this and I saw this solicitation and I said, you know what, let's see what this is about. This seems like, something I can do. So I began calling around. I began getting my quotes. I got a quote. A guy told me that he quoted me on the high end. So I said, okay, great. If I submit for this quote on the high end, then surely if I get it, then and if I get it and he says, oh, actually, this is where it fell. It didn't meet the max that we gave you.
Right.
I can make money off of that. That's beautiful. Great. You quoted me on the high end. I'm bound to get this. I got awarded. I was in conversation with the contracting officer on a Friday. He continued to talk to me throughout Saturday, Sunday, Monday was a holiday. He was still talking to me, still speaking.
The contract officer was talking to you?
The contract officer. He texted me. He was trying to make sure, hey, listen, if we give you this contract, are you able to do this? Are you able to do that? And I was like, hey, he's calling me. I feel like I'm coming to the principal's office. I feel like I'm in trouble. I don't know if I can do this. You're like, listen, it's okay. I don't know if I can do this, right? Sweating, like drenched. I'm paying back and forth. And anyway, so he ends up sending me an award on the Saturday. It's a weekend. The federal government is closed on the weekend. It's a holiday on Monday. They're closed on Monday, but who is open? This contracting officer, and he is speaking to me. So I immediately was like so grateful, so thankful. And then the contract that I was actually in conversation with, where the guy said that he was quoting me on the high end, he comes back and says, well, actually, I misquoted. It's actually higher. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He said, yeah. The trucks that we thought we were going to be able to get, we can't get them anymore. And in my head, I'm like, that's not my problem. Figure it out, right? So, I take it on the chin. I was like, okay, that's fine, Immediately, Coach Jay, they won't do it. What am I supposed to do? I'm calling you. I'm trying to message you to figure out what to do, because it was scary to think that I just got awarded, and now to think it's about to slip out of my hands. I was nervous, I was worried, I was concerned. The contracting officer, so grateful. He went as far as giving me as much information as I needed to find someone to do this job. He didn't say, oh, you can't do it, I'm pulling this from you, forget it. He said, here's a couple of people. Why don't you give them a call and let me know what you figure out? The job was supposed to start on that Tuesday. Monday was a holiday and they're in a different time zone. So I was hustling and bustling, ended up finding someone that can do the job. And it's been great from there. Since holding this contract, they have done 3 modifications because they have needed further services from me. They have hired me to do different services on top of this project. So completely different contracts. So I have 3 modifications, 2 different contracts, all in the span of just a couple of months. And then today, I just got awarded another one.
Yes! Let's go! And listen. And I know I've been coaching you all throughout, and I was letting you know that once you are able, and the reason why they're reaching out to you for all of those modifications, they have seen that you were able to adapt and adjust to get the actual thing completed. So many people come to this space thinking that they have to know it all or have it all together in order to fulfill what the federal government wants, or they believe that the federal government is this stringent drill master.
Yeah.
You have to do this or else it's not. But they have a need just like we are fulfilling that need for them.
Yeah.
So, and I say this all the time, they are going to work with you. They're going to work with you in order for them to fulfill the actual opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
But you said that this was in wastewater, right?
Yeah.
The last time I checked, you said you was in IT. What do you know about wastewater?
I have not a clue. I have not a clue. Nothing. I have nothing. But let me tell you, I have learned so much.
Yes.
I have learned the verbiage. I have learned what kind of hose is it going to need? Where is it being attached to? Is it on the top? Is it on the bottom? What kind of suction is happening here? And all of that learning has come from me having conversations with the people who have the answers. I didn't have to have all the answers. They did.
Just regular conversation, right?
Regular conversation.
So, I know. Listen, I tell you, and I know I shared a video about it. One of my early contracts was for goat grazing. I didn't even know that was a thing. Goat grazing in California. They wanted farmers who have goats, not sheep. They specified they wanted goats to come out and graze the field for fire prevention and fire control.
Wow.
So I had to call around to find out, hey, I didn't even want to say it on the phone to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm looking for goat grazing. You know? So they were able to share with me, and yeah, so that was my first early contracts. And then it doesn't matter what the federal government wants. Once they know that you and your business can supply what they're looking for, they're going to bend over backwards for you. They're going to come to you time and time again.
Yeah, I think it's hard to accept that, because when you're the one that's constantly bending over for other people, that when you get it, you kind of are like, nah, I'm in trouble. You see, the first thing I thought of was, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. And that imposter syndrome sets in where it's like, oh, they called my bluff. I'm done. Like, abort mission, run out of here, you know?
Right.
No, it gives you such a confidence, and it has truly made me feel like I can speak to anyone that I need to speak to get something done that needs to be done. And that's because of this course. That's because of this mastermind. And that's because of the coaching that you offer and the safe space that you give. So I'm so grateful. These contracts are just a testament. It's like the cherry on top of everything that you have already given us. But I will always continually thank you for taking the chance on you to present this to us. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So you said just now, you snuck it in on me, that you just email and you won another one.
I won another one.
What is this one about?
This one is another waste one.
Let's go. Yeah.
It's another waste one. The contracting officer reached out to me and he said that this was actually supposed to be pushed out September. So this was one of the first that you and I actually submitted this together. And this was one of the first 3 that I submitted, because you helped me with the first 3. Not that that's where you limited me, but that's where I was like, okay, let me try the 4th one on my own. So this was one of the ones I thought I was going to hear back in September. I just heard back October 25th. He said that if you don't hear back from me, you're definitely going to hear back from me before the end of the year. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to wait till the end of the year. Let me know now. If I fail, just tell me, right? But you said, and I will always hold on to it, never count yourself out. And I didn't. He messaged me. He said, do you think that your company is able to provide or to start services on this set date? And I said, yeah, sure, of course. And then it went silent. So I called him and he didn't pick up. And I was like, okay, leave you a message. Very calm, very cool. The next day he messaged me and said, well, we're going to get an answer out by today or tomorrow, Friday at the latest. I said, okay, fine. I log into my computer and it literally says, you have been awarded. And I was like, what? I couldn't contain myself.
Contracts and modifications and all that and all this stuff. Oh, listen. So this is one question that someone, one of the subscribers emailed to me that I need to ask you.
Okay.
All right. So they want to know, based off of your investment to learn this new skill into federal government contracting, based off of the contracts have you won, have you seen a return on your investment?
Have I seen a return on my investment? 100%.
I think they low-key want to know the amount you paid to learn the skill, has it paid for itself? That's why.
Yeah, I see. That's what they want to know.
Yeah.
I paid for this to be in Coach J's course. I had two different options. I could pay in full or I could pay per month. I am going to pay in full because that's what I wanted to do. And in doing that, I was already in a stretched place. But I knew that this was something that would not let me down.
Right.
And I have seen this return on investment before the year is even up, and it's been 2 months. It's only been 2 months. In 2 months, I've already seen it. Not only have I seen the return in investment, this has done streams. It's literally the streams. I'm seeing the streams of passive income come in my life. I'm like, oh, there's a stream. That's one contract. There's another stream. That's one contract. Here's another stream coming. That's another. So yes. Does that answer it? Or should I be more specific?
No, that's good. Listen, I tell people, if I can teach you a skill for you to be able to learn something that can generate income for you for as long as you want to do this, how much would you pay to do that? And most people say, or I put it in terms of this way. If I can teach you to learn to win a $350,000 contract in the next 30, 90 days, how much would you pay for that? And most people will be like, I'll pay $300,000. I'll pay this. That's the amount that I'm going to be able to land. And I'm like, well, to learn this skill, it's not even going to become that close. As long as you have the time, the ability to invest in yourself, the sky's the limit from here on out.
The sky's the limit. I'll say this. In one contract, I have seen my salary. If that doesn't say anything to y'all, I'm in tech. In one contract, I have seen my salary. And that is the contract that has modifications. Therefore, that has surpassed my salary, and I am in tech. That's what I'll say.
Let's go. Listen, I'm so appreciative of your time coming on to share your story, your journey, so other people can be inspired and motivated to actually take action. I say it all the time. You can't win a federal government contract if you don't submit, but you cannot submit if you don't know how. Yeah. So you gotta be able to learn this process. So I'll give you the last words. How would you speak to someone that's on the fence? They are hearing all of these rumors out here. They're going down to YouTube University, people saying this one side. What would you advise to someone that's on the fence who wants to take action, but still a little skeptical?
If you are looking for simplicity, this is the place to be. A lot of people make things complex. They try to give you a framework that is only worked in their lives or for them or what have you. But if you are looking for something that is simple, this is worth it. And I will say, once you submit, don't quit. Don't quit. It doesn't stop. This isn't a way for you to just be lazy. This is a way for you to build upon what you already have. It's natural skills that you have in you. You can talk every day and call and ask for a service. If someone leaves something on your step, you know who to call to get it removed. It's the same way with government contracts. You just have to find the right people to call and they will do the job for you. You don't need to know all the answers. They'll have all the answers for you. Just jump in. It's so good. It's so good, y'all. So good.
I couldn't say any better, girl. So listen, there are only 2 prerequisites if you want to be successful in federal government contracting. You got to be able to read and comprehend.
Yep.
And 2, you got to be able to follow instructions. If you could do those 2, anybody could jump in here and be able to do this for you.
Anybody.
All right. So listen, thank you all so much for watching another episode of the Award Street. If you want to be able to learn our system called the Flow, the system, our process on how to find, understand, and win federal government contracting, down in the description of this video, it will have the link for you to either book a free consultation call where we can see if we're a right fit to work together, or you will see the link to our community so you can actually join to learn the process and for you to be able to take action. Remember, you can't win a federal government contract if you don't submit, but if you cannot submit if you don't know how. Come learn how. All right, I'll see y'all on the next one.